So we're going to get started. One of the first things I have to do is, since I'm keeping my L4D unit, the original L4D shipped with the stainless steel build plate. So I'll be taking that off, and we're going to be replacing it with the new ceramic build plate that's necessary for using the new FabWash station with its auto cut feature. Now I have a resin tank in here that actually has some resin left in it, so I need to take that off and set it aside on a clean surface so as to not damage the film on the underside. Now we've got the new AccuFab build plate here. It's a ceramic build plate. And I'm going to bring you in for a close-up of this so I can point out the differences from the old build plate. Now here is the old build plate, stainless steel, very sturdy. It's done me well. I've printed probably 1 million layers on this stainless steel build plate. It was easy to clean and it's a good unit, but you can see the stainless steel is starting to get a lot of scratches on the surface. The new FabWash, where it automatically will cut the prints from the surface, needs a better surface to work with. So I'll be keeping this build plate for future uses where I might need it, but I'm going to replace it with this. This is the new ceramic build plate. You can see that we have a stainless steel structure with adjustable leveling screws, but the surface is a smooth and hard ceramic coating. This is very important for a surface that's going to have an automatic cutting blade applied to it over and over again to remove models from it in the FabWash unit. So let's get this installed and see how it works. So we're going to level our brand new ceramic build plate. The tools we're going to need for this are pretty simple. You have an Allen wrench that was included with your build plate kit for loosening these horizontal insert side leveling screws. There's 4 of them. So simply insert your Allen wrench into the horizontally facing screws and start loosening. You do not want to remove the screws entirely, just loosen them all enough so that the build plate can move freely. Now you always want to test that it can move freely by just simply grabbing onto the build plate and moving it up and down. Just make sure it can move easily and freely. That way, when it comes down to do auto leveling, it doesn't stop at the wrong point simply because the build plate itself got stuck against friction on the screws. Let's start by pressing the gear icon here. Then we're going to hit hardware settings. Now motor settings. And it's going to give you a little warning message, making sure you did all the things we already recommended for you to do, such as remove the any existing resin tank sitting on your printer, because it's going to lower that build platform all the way down to these 2 sheets of paper I've put on. The reason why I'm using 2 sheets of paper is because that's about the thickness of the clear film on the bottom of your resin tank. So that's going to serve as that purpose for leveling this. So now I want to hit the button, set 0 position. Once I've done that, you'll see that the platform will come down pretty quickly. When it gets really close to the bottom, you'll see it starts moving very slowly to do the last 100 millimeters or so. Sorry, 10 millimeters or so. The new printers actually come with a couple of sheets of paper that are a very particular thickness for doing this process. But my old unit, we just always used 2 pieces of about 24-pound printer paper. And I've never had an issue with leveling. Now that it's at the bottom, I'm going to grab the corners of my paper and I'm going to try and move them around a little bit. What I want there to be is tension when I try and move them. I want to know that the build plate is pressing down with some resistance. I should be able to move them relatively easily, but they shouldn't just slip around. So now before we press any other buttons, you want to tighten all of the leveling screws. Now, while tightening these screws, be careful. Don't jostle anything around, because right now everything's kind of almost floating in this position. Once we've tightened all the screws, we can then pull on the piece of paper, make sure everything's still tight, that we didn't accidentally move the platform up or down. And then we can click OK on the bottom of the printer. Now just come down and right there, that highlighted button, you're going to press that when all your screws are tightened and you're ready. And you'll see it starts raising up. And what you've done is you've both set the 0 position for the motors where it knows what the absolute bottom start position is. But by doing the loosening of the screws and moving the plate around, we've also perfectly leveled the build plate. I'd recommend that you do this maybe once a month.